Thanks so much, Mel. Well, with all of the unsettling events taking place these past few days, many of you are chiming in and you're telling us you're feeling overwhelmed, you're upset, and you're angry at the scenes you've been seeing on social media. You're not alone. Bailey Parnell is a social media and mental health researcher and the founder of the hashtag Safe Social organization. She joins us this morning to share her 5 steps to practicing safe social so that we can all feel mentally well before, during, and after social media use. That is key. Good morning, Bailey. How are you this morning?
I'm surprisingly doing very well this morning, this Friday, and I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Let's get right to those tips because they're all fantastic. First up, you say build awareness and understanding. So what are we looking at how it makes us feel?
Well, building awareness and understanding, honestly, this is actually part of building awareness and understanding about the risks of using safe social media and the potential of what it can do to you, both positively and negatively. So whether it's watching a TED Talk or going to our website, or again, watching this segment, it's making sure that we are even understanding the language of what's possible here.
You also say tip number 2 is sort of to be your own curator of what you consume. I know I've tailored the way I spend time on Instagram so that it's not like this huge time suck or people or accounts or things that make you feel like, maybe don't look at those. Keep it to a few people who you really enjoy. So is it that sort of thing of moderating and curating?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because after you do step 1 and you really look inwardly about what your relationship is with social media and is it bringing any positive to your life, then you have to go to step 2, which is, okay, well, how can I design my feeds at least so that I can get more of what I like? Maybe that is friends. Honestly, maybe it's not. Maybe you want to see comedians. Maybe you want to follow cat Instagram accounts. And that's truly what either brings you joy or inspiration or motivation or learning, all these good things from social as well. Moderating your consumption is doing any strategy to get more of that benefit with less of the risk. But first you have to start with understanding the risks for yourself.
It could be a safer, happier space as opposed to a really negative, doomy and gloomy type space, depending on what you're exposing yourself to. Number 3, build the offline soft skills. So you say things like critical thinking and resilience. How do we do that?
Okay, if you walk away with nothing else, this is the most important skill. And it's because when I started my research looking into social media's effect on mental health, I actually thought I would find a more explicit correlation between time on social media and the rising levels of anxiety and depression. But what I actually found was no consistency at all. And some people said, yes, there's an issue, but there's a whole section of my thesis about people who found that social media had a positive impact on their subjects' mental health. So what was always consistent was that when there was something in the middle, like when people felt overwhelmed, like they are really a lot recently, or they felt like they compare themselves or envy, then it was always a bad situation. And so what that told me was that it was actually, in my research, less about the networks themselves and more about how you felt offline at time of using. And even further, not only did I have 2 different subjects that reacted wildly differently to 2 different posts, I had the same subject react to the same photo wildly differently in 2 different hours based on how they were feeling about themselves and about the world offline at the time of using.
That's an interesting social experiment for sure, one to take note of. Tip number 4, Bailey, you say model good behavior, lead by example.
This is really important for all of the parents and the educators that I know are watching right now. Modeling good behavior or leading by example is thinking about all these things we do to have a good social media experience and understanding that right now we are in a weird time of history where young people are looking to us adults not only for what is okay to post in these spaces, so not only just what we actually tweet or what we actually say on Instagram, but also how we model our relationship with our mobile technology. So, am I doing this all the time and my kid is trying to talk to me? They're going to go away and they're going to think that that's normal to have that relationship with our phone, to be distracted, to have your loved ones frustrated with you because they're trying to talk. So leading by example and modeling good behavior is thinking about what do I want to say is okay in this space, not only in what I'm actually saying, but how I'm modeling my relationship to younger people who are looking to how we're acting.
And give yourself a daily digital detox if you need one. Put it aside for a few hours. You forget about it, and you'll be amazed what you get done and how you clear your head of all that cyber clutter, right? Lastly, you say hold people accountable, not just world leaders, in many ways. How do we do that?
Wow. Step 5, we couldn't be doing this interview at a better time because step 5 is the focus of the moment. This actually came a little bit later in my work because after step 1 to 4, we have people say, wow, practicing safe social seems really important. Who's responsible for this? Well, I can tell you that like any other risky behavior like sex or drugs or alcohol, it is a multi-pronged approach and it requires all parties involved to have some oversight to this risky behavior and everybody using it. And so that definitely includes 2 actors, which we've been talking about recently, the social media companies themselves and government regulation on these companies. And so you will have seen recently, just these last 2 days more than ever, that Facebook, Instagram, now Twitch, YouTube, even Shopify are starting to take a stand, and they banned President Donald Trump. And I'm honestly, it's sort of sad that it took an act of domestic terrorism to get to this point where the companies are realizing, hey, you know, we have some power here and the movement of information can incite movement, whether that's good or bad. But if there's one positive silver lining, it's that we are talking about step 5, which is that these companies do have some responsibility. If you're making money on people being active on your platform, you have some responsibility in keeping them safe.
Oh, well said. This is just a few of your awesome tips. For more information for teachers, parents, kids, and adults, head on over safesocialmedia.co. Bailey, thank you so much. You mentioned movement. It's so important to get yourself moving in the morning. Speaking of, Devo Brown up next. Julie Brown, certified step instructor. Julie Black, Devo Brown.
Son cousins, yes.
Is serving some step up, dear. You're going to step
I've
up
got
to
my
the
step
invisible
taped
plate.
out here. We've got our step taped out here. I'm ready to go. Julie Black is... she's in beast mode, full-on beast mode. My body is, listen, you've heard Pond to River, Pond to Bank. I'm going to be Pond to Floor very, very soon. Julie Black's going to get us moving in the morning. Plus, we want to know what your feel-good stories are for the week.
Yeah.
What's getting you moving into a Friday. We want to hear from you. What's your Friday good news? Let us know. 1-866-267-3797. Feedback at breakfasttelevision.ca. We'll talk to you in just a little bit, but stretch it out, y'all. We're getting the power of step next with Julie Black. Woo, she's going to win.